Good morning and welcome to the Lady Do Build. It's been quite a while since I've done an updated video. In the meantime, I've got quite a bit done, so I'm going to try to go over everything and let you know what's been going on.
Oh, wait. And there won't be any explosions during this video. Alright, so this is my rudder. It's proportioned according to the prints. The prints actually showed it in rubber. The prints actually showed it in wood, but me and my woodworking skills decided that steel was better off. It's 3/8 inch plate. It's about 4 feet wide and 12 feet tall. The ribs that I put in are 3/8 inch flat bar to stiffen it up. It's hung by, I got some 2-inch cold rolled round bar boarded out so that I could put a bronze bushing in it, then used 3/16 stainless for the pintles themselves. Machined them out, put some threads on them and such so that I could go so it'll set on and I can lock them down with dual 3/16 nuts. So there's 4 of them, but only 2 of them are threaded because don't need them all to be threaded. So I did 2 threaded and 2 non-threaded. All right, we also got the shear pipes put on. Those are 4-inch Schedule 40 pipe, 4.5 inch outside diameter, split in 2. We ran all the way down the middle of them, split them in half, and then started putting them up. Turns out that is the part of this whole build that I hated and struggled with by far the worst. Because as the pipe bends up to follow the shear line, it wants to take half that pipe and bend it out. And so we were having to force it back in, tack it, lift it, force it in, tack it, lift it, about every foot to 16 inches. Once we got them done, I went ahead and put on all the rail stanchions so that I can run some temporary lifeline up there. You know, it's I'm up there a ways. There's portions of the boat that I'm 12 feet up off the ground. Thought I'd better get some lifelines up there to protect us. So they are tacked in, but well enough that nobody's going to fall off. The little 1/4-inch nylon rope that I've got running around is all temporary. It'll become steel cable.
Sorry about the audio. My lapel mic had gone out and the wind was blowing way too much to use the camera's mic. We did get the mast up, and I did that so that I could place all the rigging and know exactly where the pad eyes needed to go before I sandblasted and painted. I went ahead and put in a yard arm because I will have outriggers for my stabilization, and I need somewhere to store them when they're not out. Then I ran all 3/8 inch cable because according to Bob Beeb's book, Voyaging Under Power, the stresses imposed by those outriggers is quite a bit. So I ran 3/8 inch cable everywhere, and I put a bunch of it up there trying to stabilize and transfer the load of those outriggers. I ran it all in AutoCAD Inventor with dynamic simulation to check my stresses and everything, and I believe I have a adequate rig going on there.
This is my outrigger. Right now I've got it rigged with a downhaul to hold it into the down position once it's deployed, a forward stay and an aft stay so that the boom don't swing either of those 2 directions. And then the top line would be the 3/8 inch cable that I'm going to bring down to a cable winch to bring it in and deploy it. Then another thing coming off the end will be, of course, the line or chain for the paravane itself. I calculated the whole thing for a 3,000-pound load on the paravane, and then followed it through using vector analysis to make sure that all my rigging is up to snuff. This is the same outrigger, but in the upright and stored position. I put the 2 V's at the top so that in under seaway I can still get the darn thing lined up into its saddle. The pivot points down here are again 1-inch stainless steel pins, brass bushing, and then 2 3/8 inch mount points that go mounted directly to the shear. Okay, so this is the base of the mast. What I've got here is 2 4-inch weld-on flanges to
so that this part of the mast and this part of the mast are separate, but held together with these bolted-on flanges. On the forward side of this bolt-on flange, I built a 2-inch in diameter steel pin, or what would you call them? Hinge points, right? So the pin itself that it'll hinge on is stainless steel, 1-inch stainless, and then the 2-inch steel other part of the hinge. So the whole mast, I can unbolt the flange and obviously the rigging and lay down the mast so that we can get under a low bridge or whatever. Transporting this, it all has to come on. So it's got to be bolted. Then just because I've already got some rigging up here and I was having troubles finding a place to mount everything, I went ahead and machined up a couple of belaying pins to hook everything to. The boom is pointing forward right now. That's not how it would normally be, but we use the boom to move the big welder around right now because the mast has the gantry crane block. So we can use the boom to lift and move the welder, and it's working real well. All right, so on the fly, I decided that there was a lot of space up here that would be great for solar panels and everything, but it would also just be a great place to hang out. So I started looking at some of George's other designs that do have flying bridges, and I kind of modified one of his to fit on this boat. So what it'll be is I'll have seating on both sides that are a little low right now because they don't have cushions. Probably a couple of tables, obviously the boom's not going to be there. And then a console for the steerage and gauges. And then maybe a baby overhead. But to me, I think, in some anchorage somewhere, we could sit out here, have breakfast, have dinner, barbecue, whatever, from right here. So I decided, you know what? I think for the living space, it's worth it. The weight, the beams that's up high is something to think about, but I kind of tested it in my software, and it didn't seem to affect it that badly. Actually, hardly at all. So I decided, what the heck, I'll go with it. Now, this is about the only part of the boat that has 1/8-inch plating, but I figured it's so high, and it's not critical that if the waves take it out, I ain't losing that much. The rest of everything else is either 3/16, quarter, or 3/8, but I went in and went with 1/8-inch on this. Turns out I hate welding 1/8-inch. I'm used to welding 3/8. 1/8-inch is a bit of a bear because boy, does it want to work. This is the aft portion of this flying deck area. Most of it will be railed in. We are going to have a ladder on that side to get up here, not just this thing. And then right here, between these lines, is going to be the plank for locking the plank. All right, it's going to be where we can dive off and go swimming, but it's going to be a plank. Okay, I also put in some bits on each side. I don't know that I'll ever need them. They're pretty stout, but hey, what the heck. I still got cleats to put in back here. These ain't my cleats. These are strictly bits. They go below the deck and then weld to the transom as well. And then if I don't need them, I don't need them. They look cool. The other thing is you see a winch right here. We use that winch to raise the mast. Once we got it up on its pin, the mast was laying forward, and then the boom was sticking up here. We ran a line from the top of the mast to the boom, and then we connected this to the top of the boom. And when we rotated it, it rotated like so until it was standing up. It went really well, really easy, and that's my method of raising and lowering the mast once I'm out there. So I'll always, and it was literally I had a couple of people here just in case, but it's definitely a one-person job to raise and lower this mast. No big deal. We also fabricated up 4 door adds, or the beginnings of door adds, for the deck. There's 2 forward and there's 2 in the aft cabin. They're literally a piece of 4-inch pipe inside that drops down and is open into the interior but sticks above the deck. We'll show you a close-up in a second. This will get a gasket on it, and it will get bolted on watertight to there. Off the back side will be the horn for picking up air. And I don't know what else to call it but a horn, vent horn. It will be rotatable so that whatever direction the wind's coming, we can rotate it and pull in air. What it does is it brings air in through the horn, and close to the deck. But because the pipe that goes down is above the deck, the air has to do an S-curve to get down inside. That S-curve helps keep the water inside this door-ad instead of going all the way down into the interior. Then there's holes cut and welded to here that allow that water to drain out. So it's a great way for having ventilation. Even if it's raining or the seas are a little rough, you can still get air into the boat or for ventilation without getting the water, or with a lot less water. All right, so these are the bottom sides and ends of the door ads. They'll have a cap on the other end that we can operate from down here. I've got it designed. I don't have any prints or any way to show it to you right now, but the cap will basically clamp down on the top of the pipe so that if the seas are just too rough, and we're getting water down this, we'll be able to clamp it down. It hangs down now, but it will be cut flush to the interior woodwork, so we're not banging our heads on it. The cleats on board are going to be 1-inch stainless steel, 3/16 stainless steel. These are stainless steel, they're not cleaned up, but these are stainless, and then these top pieces are stainless. They're welded into the top of the tow rail and really securely to the deck and the shear pipe. I went with stainless because I don't want to be painting these all the time, and I wanted to build them myself because I can. So I did. Anyways, there will be 10 of these, 5 on each side. Very bow, not quite midships, not quite midships, but aft, and then far aft. Those are going to be the 10 cleats on them. The mounting points that I've welded for all this rigging is 3/8 inch plate with a 1/2 inch hole for the shackles and turnbuckles. So again, I've tested all this in AutoCAD Inventor to make sure I'm well beyond what I'll need, and those will take a lot of wear, and I can lose quite a bit of metal to rust and still be within specs. So they're kind of overbuilt for the loads that are going to be on this, but it's easier to go overbuilt than underbuilt. So this is the steering portion of the rudder. Again, we'll have dual 3/16 stainless nuts on top of this part. There will be a plate with a gasket that goes around here to make this hole smaller. I needed it this big so that I could lift this thing up over the threaded pin and get the rudder off when I need to, and actually even get it on. Then I'm going to use a rubber boot that goes around here and then around the tiller to seal off the rest of it. Boot like on your standard shifter boot. This is 1-inch thick steel, 5 inches wide here. I've got 1-inch holes with the same bronze bushings drilled in and pressed into these 2 areas. And then these pins actually came with the ram. I'm probably going to swap them out for, I'll machine up some stainless pins to hold those in place. The rams themselves, there's 2 of them, 1 on each side, so it'll be a push-pull situation. They're 2500 max PSI, 2.5-inch bore, 18-inch stroke. Based on the length of the tiller, I only need 17 inches of stroke, no, 16 inches of stroke, so I won't be bottoming out the rams. And at 16 inches of stroke, that gives me a 45-degree rudder angle. I'll never get it to 45-degree rudder angle. I never intend to get it there, but it's capable. It's such a huge rudder that I'm going to need very little rudder movement to move this boat. But having it there, maybe I'll use it for a break one day. Then the mounting points on the other end are again 1-inch thick plate steel with the bronze bushings, 1-inch thick brackets, and then a backer plate of 3/8
going to the 3/8" transom. I'm contemplating the hydraulic still. I don't want to say I'm going to set up a fly-by-wire kind of thing, but I may. I'm seriously contemplating a fly-by-wire situation. We'll see. The advantages of having a when I say fly-by-wire, meaning there will be a hydraulic power, 12-volt hydraulic power unit back here with the hydraulic tank. So all the hydraulics for steerage will be right here. All I got to do is run some 12-volt, heavy 12-volt cable up here to supply the power unit. Set another battery next to it as a backup so that if anything happens to the electrical system, this has its own battery backup to keep steering going. Still working on that. Then there will be basically a joystick in the pilot house and in the flying bridge to steer this thing. Thinking about it. Haven't completely decided, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. I like the idea that it's all back here, all the hydraulics are back here, and it does work out to be considerably cheaper than helm pumps. The downside, of course, is it's all electric. And if the electrical system goes out or whatever, then you can run into problems. I'll always be able to hook a bar to this and steer the boat manually if the electrics go out or if the hydraulics go out. But I'm trying to figure it out. We'll see how it goes. Leave some comments if you got some ideas. I want simple, simple, simple. And I don't want to drop 40 grand into all these fancy super yacht hydraulic pumps and stuff that they have, but I want reliable. 100%, that's my main goal, is reliable and redundant. So, yeah, if you have some ideas, let me know.